Hi Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your October 25th, 2022 new moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration, and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Okay, Aries, let's see the energy that we need to be mindful of during this new moon in Scorpio. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. So we have the Ace of Wands. Now this is very interesting whenever we have such a positive card as something to be mindful of, because the Ace of Wands is God's source spirit, however we see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift of passion, of creativity, of real insight into how we want to move forward. I'm just seeing this as being a time where we're being reborn, because we are in Scorpio, right? Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Pluto is death and rebirth. The sun is right next to Venus. This is all about life and what gives us joy and passion and beauty. And there's a sense of a change happening, of a shift happening, and a way that we're seeing things. We're having things come to us in a new light and in a new way. So we have to be mindful about this, because what I'm seeing is that something old is going to be warring with something new. And we're going to be wondering, how do I move forward? Where is it that I want to be? How is it that I let this passion shine and let myself shine in authenticity and beauty and real connection with who I am and what I need and what I'm looking for within myself? Now, there's also a solar eclipse during this time. And so that brings a lot of change forward. And there is a lot of change guiding us, leading us to so much more. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. We are crowned with the 10 of Swords. Then we have the Knight of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and the 5 of Swords. So a lot of swords here, a lot of the voice, the mind really coming through. We're seeing us come to the conclusion of a cycle. And we're also seeing us become a little bit more active in the way that we want to move forward and what we've been looking for within ourselves and within what we want from our lives. We're also going to see ourselves being much more boisterous about where it is that we want to be. Now, be it nobody says that an Aries is a shrinking violet, but we could almost feel that way about ourselves at times. Like we've bitten our tongue, we've held things back, and now we're not going to be doing that anymore. We're really going to be saying, no, this is what I want. No, this is where I need to be. No, this is what I like, and this is what I don't like. And that's going to feel more in line with who we are and what we want and the way that we're heading forward or what we're heading towards in our lives. Now, with the 10 of Swords crowning everything at this time, there is this real sense that, we've had a lot of setbacks in our lives. We've had a lot that has held us back. We've had a lot that has made us doubt, where we're going, what we want, what we've been looking for. And there is also a sense of we're starting to see a lot of the things that we had seen as a negative, and they're starting to become a positive. you know, maybe not like, oh, I'm so glad that that happened, but it's like, wow, I'm one tough cookie, you know, wow, I'm really determined or really focused or really insightful. And that's going to change the game for us. That's going to really lead us forward. There is something here where people are going to be like, oh, Aries, you're not going to do that because you're too beaten down this way, or you're not going to see this as a blessing, or, oh, this is going to trigger you, or this is going to hurt your feelings. And so you're not going to really step up the way that you usually do, because somebody's going to know that there's something here. You're sensitive about it. It's a bit overwhelming to you. And they're going to think, oh, I got you. And they haven't at all, like not even a little bit, because there's just a sense of, oh, you thought this was going to keep me back. Look how strong I am. Look how powerful I am. Look how determined I am. And so there is something here where it's like, this is the darkness before the dawn. This is the Scorpio energy really coming forward. And this is that sense of rebirth. This is that sense of determination. This is that sense of focus and insight. And when people see death, they see an ending. But there are all different phases in our lives that have died, and now we have moved on. And we have lost, we have loved, we have grieved. And that, I'm just seeing like a big mixing pot of, it has made us so different maybe than we had thought we were going to be. But it has made us beautiful. It has made us beautiful. I'm just seeing, you know, I'm seeing a big pot of chicken soup. And if you just had chicken broth, I mean, that's one thing, right? But that's one flavor. But when you have everything in it, and you have, you know, garlic and rosemary and all the herbs and the pieces of chicken and the veggies, it's just so delicious, right? It's just so delicious. It's just so heartwarming and settling. And that's what I see this as. Is I see this as like, to quote, you know, the book titles, right? Chicken soup for the soul. The sense of, this has made me who I am. And yeah, I've boiled sometimes over, and yes, I've had to simmer, but I'm becoming something that is, it's just heartwarming and lovely, and something that people, you know, kind of wrap their own souls around and say, wow, look how splendid you are, Aries. With the Knight of Swords, there can be somebody here who is an air sign energy, a Gemini, a Libra, an Aquarius. This person is a real doer. Now, know that they don't have to be stuck as just being an air sign. They could have, you know, in their chart, they could have a lot of air energy, or they could have an air sign energy. But there's a real sense here of, I'm focused, I'm determined, and this person shares their opinion with you. They're a little bit feisty, or this person can love writing letters or just love communicating in any which way. There's such a sense here of they're reaching out and connecting with you. They're connecting with you. Like, communication lines are opening up. So that's going to be something that's really quite beautiful. If you get an unexpected, you know, letter in the post, answer it. If you get an unexpected email, you know, answer it from this person, because you're going to be like, oh, wow, I haven't heard from you. And I want to open up those communication pathways. You know, I want to see what, you know, this turns into. There is also a sense with you of really taking the reins of what you love and what you want. Really looking at things and saying, you know what, I'm done saying tomorrow. I'm done, you know, holding on to the past. I'm done holding back. There's a real energy here of, I need to move forward. I need to go after what I want. I need to look at where I need to be. And this eclipse that's happening, I believe it is a solar eclipse, but I'm not entirely sure, which is a terrible thing to be forgetting right now. But there's this energy here of change, and you're going to see it with the eclipse energy that's coming. You're going to see it with the energy of Scorpio that we have stepped into, you know, on the 23rd of October. That's Scorpio energy time. That's, you know, Scorpio time period. And we are seeing ourselves on the 25th, really looking at things and saying, okay, what information am I taking that is propelling me forward? What do I want? And also, where have I been hasty? Where have I been, you know, kind of a little bit too, it's like cocky, a little bit too, you know, I just see it as like, you know, a person who struts and who thinks like, oh, I know everything, but they don't, or, you know, they've just made a fool out of themselves. And I'm not saying that you've made a fool out of yourselves, but what Spirit is showing me here is just there's this energy here of look at everything kind of twice. Don't be paranoid about it, but look at things, check things, make sure you're moving in the direction that you want. There's going to be certain things that you're going to think, oh, well, of course that's going to happen. You're going to need to look at it again. You're going to need to look at what you want again. Look at the bigger picture again, because there's something here where it's like you thought it was going to be really easy, not as easy as you thought it was going to be, or you're not going to be as confident with it as it progresses as you are in the very, very, very beginning. So just be aware of that. But you really do have the energy here of being that master craftsman, of being that master, it's just like a master of your trade. There is a sense of putting everything together, of mixing everything together, of it becoming so much more than what it was originally. Now, with the Ace of Cups, this is God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing you a gift. Now you have two gifts. One is going to be a little bit conflicting for you because it's going to be a little bit overwhelming. But the Ace of Cups, your cup runneth over. Now, for some of you, there can be a sense of like, oh my gosh, I have too much going on right here, right now. All blessings, all wonderful, but I just feel overwhelmed. Note that, yeah, that's where you are. Divinity sees it. Your angels, your spirit guides see it. You are being blessed as you are moving forward. Now, this can also be a very emotional time for a lot of us. We have a lot of feelings, a lot of intensity. We can have blessings that we have. I just see it as like, it's almost like a miracle happens. And I don't want to, say, oh, you're going to have a miracle. But for a lot of you Aries, you are. It could be a little miracle. It could be a big miracle. It's going to be something that is just so beautiful. It's so perfect. It's so right. And it's going to be, you're going to say like, this is my miracle. This is something that is just so perfect for me. And it can get you really emotional. But I also see just this settling of the heart, this, beauty of the spirit really coming forward. Now, with the Five of Swords, there is something going on during this time, during this new moon. You have faced this battle before. So it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. It's going to be like, are you kidding me? Like, I have to do this again. Are you kidding me? I have to fix this mess. I thought it was done. But there's something here where you're going to have an incident come up. I don't see it as being very big at all, but it's going to be an incident coming up. And it's going to be something where once upon a time, and they're kind of going off this energy here of the Ten of Swords. Once upon a time, you would have run away from it. You would have said, no, I can't do this. And now you're like, okay, bring it. I got this. I know what I'm doing. I'm not the same person that you had dealt with before. There's so much more here than what you had originally thought. Now, you could be talking to a person. You could just be talking to yourself where you're trying to do something and it's like, no, I'm not scared anymore. I'm not being held back anymore. There's a fierceness to me that I'm embracing. Just know that there is something here that you're going to look at it and be like, okay, roll up my sleeves. I got this. And there's such power to you because of that. Now, let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Okay. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels. Okay, this is your bonus card. Okay. So what I love is that we've had this abundance of air sign energy, right? And the moon card that you get is the full moon in Gemini. Gemini is an air sign energy. And it says the answers you need are coming. So with the Ten of Swords, it's like all the hardships, all the pains, all the disappointments that you have been through, everything that has forged you. Remember, swords are forged. And it's not a calm, gentle process. It's a intense, kind of backbreaking, grueling process that, the sword can crack in the middle of things. You would have to start all over again. And with the Ten of Swords in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it is a fortune put in a man's back. It is somebody laying on the ground with 10 swords stabbing him in the back. And in not too distant past, people would go over battlefields and they would take the weapons that were left. They would take from the fallen and they would say, okay, I'm using this now. And there's a sense here of why was a fortune? Why were things that were so valuable left behind? And it's because they're giving you answers. The hurts, the pains, the disappointments that were once so sharp in us, that were once so biting in us. They're now bringing us to our answers. They're now bringing us to us in a way that is quite beautiful, and it is a way that is quite unique. the answers you need are coming. And it's going to be because you walk through that pain. You walk through that hurt. You lived that you have these answers coming for you. You have these answers coming to you. And you're really blossoming into the person that you want to be. Remember, the Knight of Swords is also the White Knight card, and they all live happily ever after type of thing, where you get to be the hero of your story. I always think of the Night Circus, where the Knight of Swords is put over, and he's the one who saves the situation. I love that book so much. And that's what I'm seeing here. I'm very much seeing it's changing your course. It's opening up a door, but it takes action, and it takes determination, and it takes focus, and you have that. Don't get off path, because it'll be very easy to, but you're blossoming into the person that you want to be. You're blossoming into the energy that you want to be possessing. Also, the wisdom. You're going to have certain books, certain logic coming to you, okay? Whether it be through a book or through listening or through, whatever modality you're drawn to, you're going to have inspiration coming to you, Aries, quite profoundly. And it's going to have you blossoming into that person that you want to be, but blossoming also into the progression that you want. It leads you to creation. This moon and the Ace of Cups and the sense that your cup runneth over is creating a different future for you than you had thought, creating a different path. This miracle, this blessing, this beauty that is stepping in is unexpected, but it's like, I'm running with it. I'm taking advantage of it. I'm opening my heart to it. I'm not going to say no. And it brings us to the path leading us in a direction that we're like, didn't expect this, kind of thrilled, kind of worried, because look at that ladder into the sky. I mean, not the most sturdy thing in the whole entire world, but we've done worse, right? We've moved further than to let the fear hold us back. It's kind of like, well, where will this take me? What adventure am I on now? We're going to see where we would have stepped back and say, no, I couldn't do this. We're going to say, yes, I can do it. Yes, I can. And that's going to be so different. Somebody's going to expect us to be more timid, more, oh no, I couldn't possibly. And yet there's a fierceness and a beauty to us now that's coming forward. And I know, again, it's so funny because Aries, you are not shrinking violets, but there's some sort of energy here that it was like, oh, I was hesitant. Oh, I was stepping back. I wasn't really embracing what I wanted. And now there's a fierceness to you. You are going to be tested. There is going to be a sense of, can you do this? Can I move forward this way? Is this right for me? So do know that comes forward. But there is just such a sense of, I'm not scared anymore. I'm not held back anymore. I'm not, forgetting myself anymore. And that fierceness leads you in a direction where you're like, yes, I'm so thrilled. I'm so empowered. I am so much more than I thought I could be. Now, our subconscious energy to be mindful of is Cernunnos. Now, Cernunnos is in the Druidcraft deck, okay? He is the devil. Now, Cernunnos is the god of the forest, right? The god simply of nature, of change. The forest changes. We change as human beings. Here you have a couple who has come together, and now there's a consequence to that, for better or for worse. So here, just know that we're being told to be mindful of the consequences of our actions, for better or for worse. Every action, be it positive or negative, has a reaction. So there's that energy coming forward. And it's saying here, it's part of nature. It's going to be random. It's going to be a change that you can't stop. And that can be something that frightens us, that overwhelms us. Lord knows when things happen that just seem to be like tidal waves hitting you in your life, it holds us back. It keeps us from really moving forward the way that we thought, or it could paralyze us with fear because we're helpless against it. We can't fight death. We can't fight, illness. We can't fight these things where usually, especially for strong, willed people or strong, people, we're used to being able to say, well, I can do something. I can change something. I can get this. But sometimes our life, and I've seen it this year, most definitely, things are just taken out of our hands. And all of a sudden it can be just absolutely terrifying. So I'm not trying to make you scared. I know I've just kind of stepped into this energy a little bit, probably too much lately, but it's going to be something that makes you much more aware of life and your life and what you want and what's important than it has ever been before. It's like all of a sudden things become real and we become very focused on what we want and also what we don't want. It moves us to our subconscious Luna message, which I love And it says here, the full moon, which, the new moon is when we set up all our intentions, we look inside, we see what it is that we want. And then the full moon is that spotlight that says to us, did we do it? Did we get there? Did we, accomplish what we wanted? And so surrender to the divine and be patient with yourself. We have a lot of things that we want to do. We have a lot of changes that we want to make, a lot of ways that we want to move forward. And it's great and it's awesome. But it's also going to be something that we have to be patient with. And we might not get there by the full moon. We might not, get there in the timeline that we set for ourselves, but we're getting there. This is also a time very much so that what we have put off, what we've said, okay, tomorrow, we're like, no, not tomorrow. I'm doing it now. I need to focus on this. I need to see what I want. And it's time to do it. It's time to change the game. And so be patient with yourself and surrender to the divinity of your angels, of your spirit guides, of your God, however you see that entity, and let yourself move forward towards where it is that you want to be and what it is that you want for yourself. Because our subconscious tarot message is the 10 of Wands. We have carried enough. We have the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. And these aren't the happy-go-lucky 10s. The 10 of Cups is they all live happily ever after. The 10 of Pentacles is prosperity and bounty and wealth and even inheritance. With the 10 of Wands, we've been looking at the dirt. We've been looking at the dirt on our shoes for just way too long. We've been held back. We've been weighed down by responsibilities, by life, by passions that we've had and things that haven't worked out, things that we might love, but sometimes people that we love and things that we love, they become burdens at times, even when we don't think they ever would. They can, and they do. So here, subconsciously, with the 10 of Wands, we're coming to a conclusion of that cycle. We're looking at things that have held us back, that have kept us back, and we're saying, no, I'm not being held down anymore. We're also planting. We're seeing what we want to plant. We're taking the wands and they can be saplings and saying it's time to plant my dreams and what I desire and where it is that I want to be. It's time to look at me again. And instead of looking at everybody else, these are my dreams. This is what I desire for myself. This is the way I'm moving me forward. And that becomes the game changer. And as it changes the game for us, it has us stepping out of a I can't mode and stepping into, oh yes, I can. All right, Aries. I hope this reading has resonated for you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this moon and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries, and may you have a blessed moon.